scene you are about to see is a simulation of what happens on the scene of an accident. Each of the elements depicted are based on actual calls that both the police and fire department must respond to many times during the year. You will see a recreation of the immediate aftermath of a head-on collision between two autos on a street somewhere in DeWitt. As the tarps are removed, imagine that you are a bystander at a collision. The accident has just happened. The car on your left was driven by a young man who was driving his date and another couple home after a prom night party. The driver has been drinking, and even though his friends told him that he shouldn't drive, he assured everyone that he was just fine and don't worry about it. He had always been a skilled driver, and his friends thought that this one time would be okay. While driving down the street, the young driver swerved to avoid a pothole. Since his reaction time had been affected, he failed to swerve back into his lane quick enough and struck an oncoming car head-on. The other car contained a sober prom group. The police are about to arrive on the scene.
What's your problem? Want the lid off? Yep. Good. Cut and B. Cut and B. Got somebody on each post?
Somebody call the hospital.
Let me in here. Yep. We're going back and forth. Taking it back.
Helicopter on the ground. And 10-4, helicopter on the ground.
I'm starting to lose her pulse.
Ready?
We gotta get her out of here.
Okay. Just a minute. We've started. Come on, here. Here we go.
Alright, we need to go in right now. She's COVID. Get her on top. Pull around, run it. Hey, can you? Hey, we're gonna relax. We're gonna get you out of here, okay? Got it, guys. I got this side. You got that? Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Put a couple straps out for remover, guys. Couple straps.
Strap me. Give me a strap.
Hey, we need to start compressions on her. All right, we're ready when you guys are ready.
On Jason. All right. 1, 2, 3.
10-4, gonna check the situation.
Good job, good job. All right, strap her in the cot. Make sure we don't lose her here.
on here.
Move around. Did it move? No, no. No, we're good. Well, we're good for now. This is the way it is for now. That's good. This is compressor. Did somebody call the hospital? Well, I think we got some whole blood weight, guys.
On.
You guys are good. Keep going on here.
34.
You got push the plus button over here.
He's got it.
All the vehicles repeat.
medical examiner here today.
The silver Elantra. Okay. She was the front seat passenger. Found laying position here.
Okay. Do we have alcohol involved? Oh, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Drunk person taken in by the DeWitt Police Department for investigation of operating while intoxicated. I don't have an ID on the young lady. I couldn't find a purse, and none of the other victims were able to talk to us.
Oh, we do have an ID, it looks like. Maybe. An Emily Marie Reed?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like she's 124 of 1997. I'm just going to take a look at a couple things here. Looks like we have a bad head wound here. But, I'm going to get a longboard here. Okay. Need to put her. Hello, Dr. Peterson. Yeah, Ackerman MEI here. We're out in a traffic accident, two-vehicle traffic accident, rural DeWitt. Some kids on prom night, which is tonight, going out drinking and things like that. Oh, yeah, I know. They should know better, but you know how that goes. Yeah, I know. We did that program, and I don't know, you think they learned? Okay. Yeah, I've called the funeral home. He's here right now. Where should we transport? Okay. So we'll do a medical examiner hold, and then we'll get some toxicology and see about that. Yes, because of the death, and we might have another entry to where it's not. Yeah. So we'll probably do autopsies. Okay. Very well. Hello, Jay. We have one victim here. They have a longboard already, so let's just get your cot. Yeah, I think they'll walk her right to the street here. It's an Emily Reed, I think you know the family. Yeah, you probably do. Hey gentlemen, before we go, I just need to ID things here.
Well, I will go let you know that with her nurse. Give them the worst thing to do ever.
Yes, you're going to go in person to the residence, sir. Thank you. I'll give you the ID back there. Time of death is, for Dr. Peterson, is 2027. It's hard like this in a small town.
It is. It's actual.
Just for your records as well, our lot number 795-8125. Just follow me over to the morgue and we'll go from there then. Thank you.
Every day, more than 30 people in the United States die in motor vehicle crashes that involve an alcohol-impaired driver. This amounts to one death every 48 minutes, and the annual cost of the alcohol-related crashes totals to more than $51 million. In 2010, over 10,000 people were killed in alcohol-impaired driving crashes, accounting for nearly one-third of all the traffic-related deaths in the United States. Of the 1,200 traffic deaths among children ages 1 to 14, in 2010, 211 involved an alcohol-impaired driver. Drugs other than alcohol are involved about 18% in motor vehicle driver deaths. These other drugs are often used in combination with alcohol. Even though the percentage of drugs-related accidents is low, it doesn't mean it's not dangerous. The truth is, young people are at the greatest risk. At all levels of blood alcohol concentration, the risk of being involved in a crash is greater for the younger generation. 10% of all drivers under the age of 20 involved in fatal car crashes were reported as distracted at the time of the crash. At any given daylight moment across America, over 60,000 drivers are using cell phones or manipulating electronic devices while in motion. This number has held steady since 2010 and has continued to be an alerting problem. 5 seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting. When traveling 55 miles per hour, that's enough to cover the length of a football field blindfolded. As a general rule, if you cannot devote your full attention to driving because of some other activity, it's a distraction. Take care of it before or after you're driving, not behind the wheel. Be responsible. If you're drinking, choose a designated driver. Decide who's going to be doing the driving before you go out, and make sure that person isn't drinking an alcoholic beverage. Call someone or hide his or her keys. Don't be afraid to. If the person gets angry, it's probably proof you're doing the right thing. You don't want to be the person that ends up dead or lying next to your best friend who's pronounced dead at the accident. So be responsible if you're behind the wheel or even vehicle at all.
Go ahead and do that, stick that eye over the second line. How much FBS you got so far? 50 rounds left. All right, keep that going. Let's get the zero zipper, guys. Zipper up. Okay, stop the shot right there. Okay, do the shot. How long was she down for? All right, we get that shot. Go ahead shot. Okay. Clear. Let everybody clear. Yeah, keep back the chest. Keep on the chest. I think this left lung. Keep going. Keep it another knock. Keep it that. Get that eye open. Eye open. All right. Get the empty going down. Keep it going down. Don't tell me to keep it down. I'm going to keep pressing his chest really quick. Keep on. Please take over the press his chest right now, guys. Keep it going. Do we know where blood's like yet? Oh, we don't know anything. Do we talk to his family? Do we have any idea? His mom, ground, what can he, what's going on? Pretty through his chest. We're at 2 o'clock. This is his chest right now, sir. Do better. He's doing like a chopper guy, guys. Shot 2 joules up. 360 joules. 300. Everybody clear? Shot. That's on the chest. 12 piece bag, tag him, squeeze him, squeeze him, squeeze him, squeeze him. Get the chest moving. We get that. We're going to decompress that chest right there. Right there. Hey, do we have lab on the way? Keep it going. All right. I called it earlier. All right. Keep going. What time's that? Do you have any atropine with you? Yeah. You got an atropine in your pocket? Take it out. Give an atropine to the IO right now. We got atropine here. Your pupils are dilated. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Down for about 15 minutes now. We haven't gotten anything back. She's still showing it on the monitor. Just shot her one more time. Go ahead. One more time. 360 joules. Let's go all the way. You guys ready? Clear. Shot. Go ahead, shot again right now. Shot again right now. Clear. Shot. One more time. One more time. Shot. Clear. Shot. She's still being fit. Anybody have any ideas? Yeah. Everybody have any ideas? How much fluid you got? Is this 4th bag of fluid? 4th bag of fluid. Keep it down. How long now? 20 minutes? Her very sick. She's died. She's dead. She's dead. Okay, good one. She's not eligible for this. What's the time frame? Time of death, 14:02. We know what we're doing. She's only 17. Let's get her down for now. Get her out in the room. Turn it on. Go down to more. Put her in the cooler. Go ahead and get it down. Cleaned up, down the more back. What we just witnessed, students, faculty, and guests, is also so real this time of year. It happens a lot. It's a bad tragedy that can be prevented, but it happens way too often. There's many things we can do for you in the medical field. It's an exciting field. Things are getting better all the time. We really need medicine. When your heart stops, we can give medicine to restart it. We can shock you. We can bump your chest. You get a hole in your lungs. If you get a hole in both of our lungs, we can decompress your chest, put a tube down your trachea, and breathe for you. Keep you alive, maybe a little while. Paralyze you, put it on a ventilator, try and keep you alive. What we can't do for you, though, is make the choice of getting into a car when you're intoxicated, under the influence of prescription medication, recreation medication, or if you're driving like yourself, get distracted. You pick up the cell phone to text somebody, it just happens in a matter of seconds. I mean, just 1 second. 1 second with off the road, 2 seconds off the road, you go so far. It happens way too often, especially this time of year. You guys, at this point in your life, kind of an end of a phase, right? You're on a big journey, this journey of life. At the top of the mountain of this phase of your life, you've worked your buns off the last 12, 13 years to get where you're at. You have a great education, a great school, a great community, and you make a bad decision because you're all excited out there to celebrate. You don't think. You make a bad choice, and what happened out in the streets and what happened up here happens. It can happen. One of the saddest things that we have in the medical field is when I have to take somebody like a 17-year-old, after parents and family kind of say goodbye, if we have a chance to clean her up in the emergency room, I'll walk her down to the morgue, in the basement, open up the door, walk over to the cooler, open up the cooler door, and put her into the cooler. she's done. All I can say to you guys, enjoy this. It's an exciting time in your life. Enjoy it. Go celebrate it. Have some fun. It's a big deal. But make good choices. Every time you get into a car, whether you're the driver or you're the passenger. If you're the passenger in the car, you think the driver's not driving correctly, they might be a bit intoxicated or not paying attention. Especially if they're intoxicated, find a safe place, have them stop the car, get out, and keep on going on with your life. If they're just like not paying attention, texting, turning around and moving their arms around and not paying attention, ask them to stop doing it. You can't control them. If they won't stop doing it, find a safe place, get out of the car. Every time, the rest of your life, that's what you need to do. The thing is, the next few months when you guys are celebrating your graduation, doing your prom, all that exciting stuff, you don't think this is straight because you're so excited. You're at the top of the mountain again at the phase of your life, and you just feel like, you're so strong, and you're like, you can't be hurt, but you can be hurt. So, I just want to ask you one more time, every time you get into a vehicle, if you're the driver, do not be intoxicated, do not be under the influence of prescription medication, recreation drugs, and don't allow yourself to be distracted. If you're a passenger, and you find that going on and it doesn't stop, find a safe place, get out, and stay alive so you can experience the rest of your life and really see some cool things in the next 50 or 60 years. Okay? Thank you.
The scene that played out here today is one that people think it's not going to happen to them. It's never going to happen to them. This is something that's going to happen to the other person and never to them. But I'm here today to tell you that it can. And this stuff plays out way too often throughout our communities. And it's really sad. It's a sad thing. One of the hardest things that, as a police officer, that I have to do is to respond to an accident where there's been a kid involved. Your age, it doesn't matter. When we respond to an accident, as myself as a police officer, also speaking to you as a parent, it's hard to go up to those scenes when we find that they've died, and we've got to somehow go back and tell their parents. And what makes that even harder, what makes that job even harder, is when we have to walk up to a dark house, whether it's in the middle of the night, early in the morning, and tell that parent that their child has died. There's nothing harder than that. And what makes it even harder than that is, and more senseless, is when it's due to distracted driving, whether you're texting, you're talking on the phone, something that's senseless, that could have waited. That makes it even harder knowing because of something like that. Or being impaired while you're driving. It's a senseless thing to do. And when we have to walk up and tell that parent, and you listen to their screams and their moans, that's hard. You guys, in this life, you're going to make mistakes. And they're going to happen. And you're going to learn from those mistakes. And one of the reasons for Operation Prom is that the mistakes that could be, what you've seen today was a mistake that could be. Okay? We want you to learn from what could be, what could have happened today. And that's the mistake we need you guys to learn from. So this doesn't have to play out in real life for you guys. Because it can. And hopefully it never will. But this is what you guys do. You guys need to make the choices, the proper choices that are going to allow you to live. So whether this happens, you might happen to be able to change the future this weekend. You might be able to change the future of what could happen. Might not be what happened out here on the street. Hopefully you can stop all of that from happening. You have a friend that you see is texting while they're driving, and you're in a car, maybe it's too distracting. Tell them, hey, knock that off. We want to arrive safe. You happen to be out with friends, and you notice maybe a friend's drinking. Drive that friend home, okay? Help your friends out. We don't want to have to respond to a scene like that, okay? That's the last thing that we want to have to do. We don't want to have to tell your parents that. So learn from what you've seen today. This can happen. It happens way too often in our communities, but please learn from that. Make the choices you need to make to stay alive, okay? So with that, please make good choices this weekend. Make good choices for the rest of your life.
statistics, and I think those have been covered. So what I want you guys to do real quick is I want you to look at two people next to you. I would assume most of you are probably sitting with a friend. Okay, statistically, if every one of you were in an accident this year and you were part of the 20,000, one of you out of those three would have been in a drunk or text accident, okay? That person would also be dead. So that kind of puts into perspective how many people it actually happens to. From the insurance perspective, I know Mrs. Sparks kind of covered on this the other day during her speech, that Justin's paying, I think she said $600,000 in restitution. The accident that happened today, that driver, his insurance would be responsible for covering every medical bill and every funeral that you guys saw today, or going to see today. Most insurance, you would not have enough coverage to cover half of that. So even though you're only 16, 17, 18 years old, you still get to be responsible for those finances. So that means when you're 50, you're still going to make a payment on it. When you buy your first house, there will be a lien on it. When you get tax returns at 65, they're going to take them from you. So not only do you have the hardship of having to live with what happened, not only do you have to mourn with your friends or deal with probation, jail, whatever it might be, now financially, you're going to also live with that for the rest of your life. As a parent, just on a personal level, I will tell you, if you are ever in that kind of situation, call your parents. I know that sounds so cheesy, but we won't mind. Not one parent is going to be angry if you call and say, hey, the person I came with started drinking, they want me to ride with them, and I'm not comfortable. We are going to be much happier to go pick you up at 2 or 3 in the morning than we are to identify you at 2 or 3 in the morning. Thank you.
The wreck, the impact, the blood, the sickening smell of it, blood, oozing out of the cuts, pain, roaring, stinging pain. The pain is fading now. It's going away, yet it's still there. The world is quiet now, yet it's very noisy. I'm feeling tired, exhausted. I must not close my eyes. I will not close my eyes. Tired. My eyes are half closed now. Peaceful, very peaceful. I am asleep. But I will not wake up from this sleep. Death.
She doesn't remember the force of the impact, just that everything all of a sudden went black. She felt someone remove her from the twisted rubble and heard, "Someone call an ambulance, these kids are in trouble." The voices she heard, a few words at best, but she knew there were 2 cars involved in the wreck. Then, if the other people in the car were alive, she hoped in her heart the other person would survive. She awoke in the hospital to faces so sad. "You've been in a wreck, and it looks pretty bad." These voices echoed inside her head as they gently told her that her friend was dead. They said, "Honey, I'm sorry, we've done all we can do, but it looks as if we'll lose you too." "But the other people in the car," she cried. "I'm sorry, dear, they also died." She prayed, "God forgive me for what I've done. I only wanted to have one night of fun. Tell the people's family that I made their lives dim, and I wish I could return their families to them. Tell Mom and Dad I'm sorry I lied, and that it's my fault so many have died. Oh, nurse, won't you please tell that to them?" The nurse just stood there. She never agreed. She took the girl's hand, and with tears in her eyes, and a few moments later, the young girl died. A man asked the nurse, "Why didn't you do your best to bid that poor girl her one last request?" She looked at the man with eyes oh so sad, because the other people in the car were her mom and dad. The story is sad, unpleasant yet true, so young people take heed, it could have been you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Sperry, and I am the Director of Christian Education at Grace Lutheran Church here in DeWitt. As such, I've had the privilege and honor of getting to know Emily and her family for the past year and a half. On behalf of Brian, Barb, Adam, and their extended family, I want to thank everyone for being here today. Losing a child is a parent's worst nightmare, and I cannot begin to put in words the grief that they are feeling right now. But I know that the love and support that they have already received from the community, from friends and family, has been a significant help to them as they begin the stages of dealing with the tragic death of Emily. When I received the phone call that Emily had been killed, I couldn't believe it. I had just seen her a couple days ago at youth group and listened as she excitedly told us of her many plans for this summer, including how she had just purchased her tickets to attend the Warped Tour concert in Chicago with some of her friends. She was a beloved daughter, sister, granddaughter, and friend to all she met. She was active in numerous activities here at school and in our community. During the past couple of days, I've had the chance to speak with some of her friends, and a couple of things that I kept hearing over and over were how good of a friend she was, how kind she was to everyone she met, and how much she loved to bake cakes and to go shopping. From some of the stories I've been told, I guess that the clothes littering her floor and the shoes covering the floor of her bottom of her closet are a great testament to her love for shopping. It's these and many other things that mean Emily will be greatly missed. One of the first things that connected Emily and I when I moved here to DeWitt was that we both have the same favorite Bible passage. In Jeremiah 29:11 it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." When tragedy like this happens, we don't know why. We begin to question it. But we can take comfort in these words from Jeremiah and know that there is a plan for all of us. And I know that Emily knew that and believed that from the day that she received that verse on her confirmation in May of 2011. Emily had many plans for her life, such as the Warped Tour concert this summer, graduating next spring, heading off to college, and then who knows what beyond that. The sky was the limit for her. Unfortunately, most of them will never get the chance to come to be. I know all of you here today have plans, goals, and dreams for your lives, just like Emily did. I beg you to please think about these plans and keep them in mind and make wise decisions. As I finish, I want to leave you with one final thought, which I believe Emily would wholeheartedly agree with, and which I believe she lived her life. It's a quote I came across from Ralph Waldo Emerson. "You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late." Again, I would like to thank everyone for being here today, and I ask that we would all continue to support and lift up Brian, Barb, Adam, and the extended family as they continue to deal with the loss of their beloved Emily. Thank you.